Karmelo Anthony seeks a new trial. Major new development in Aston Metcalf case. A major new development has emerged in Karmelo Anthony case. Karmelo Anthony was convicted of murdering 17-year-old Aston Metcalf at a Texas high school track meet. Is now seeking a new trial, and there has already been a significant development in the effort. The judge who presided over Anthony's original trial, Judge John Roach Jr., has been removed from the next stage of the case. The new judge is now set to consider Anthony's request for a new trial. Anthony was convicted for murder in June 2016 and received a 35-year prison sentence after the jury rejected his claim of self-defense. The case goes back to an April 2025 confrontation at a track meet in Frisco, Texas. According to testimony presented during the trial, Anthony was sitting under a tent being used by members of Aston Metcalf's team during rainy conditions. Witness said Metcalf and others repeatedly asked Anthony to leave. The confrontation escalated. Prosecutors argued that Anthony was the aggregate. The defense, however, maintained that Anthony acted in self-defense. Anthony did not testify during the original trial. The jury ultimately found him guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Now his legal team is attempting to reopen the case. Anthony's lawyer have raised several complaints about the original proceedings. Among their arguments are concerns about courtroom restrictions, jury instructions, and issues involving testimony and the presentation of the defense. The defense also challenged Judge John Roach continued involved in the case. One important issue was a public interview Judge Roach gave after trial. During the interview, Roach defended the proceedings and said the jury had reached the right results. Visiting Judge Sid Harle ultimately ordered Judge Roach removed from the case because his continued participation could create an appearance of possible bias. This does not mean that Karmelo Anthony has received a new trial. That distinction is extremely important. The court is now considering whether the original conviction should be set aside and whether Anthony should receive another trial. The new judge, Michael B. Chitty, has been assigned to handle the next stage of the proceedings. So what happened next? The court will examine the arguments presented by Anthony's defense and the prosecution's response. If the new trial request is denied, Anthony's conviction and 35-year sentence remain in place while his legal team can continue pursuing available appellate remedies. If a new trial is granted, the case would enter a complete different legal phase. For Aston Metcalf's family, this is another major development in case that has attracted enormous national attention. Aston Metcalf was 17 years old when he was fatally stabbed during the 2025 track meet. His father, Jeff Metcalf, has spoken publicly about the devastating impact of his son's death. The later development, therefore, does not end the case. Instead, it opens another major chapter in the legal battle. The central question now is whether the court believes the alleged problems with the original trial were serious enough to injure a new trial. As of today, August 2026, no new trial decision should be described as final unless and until the court actually rules on it. We will continue to follow this developing story. If you want the latest updates on Karmelo Anthony and Aston Metcalf case, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And tell us in the comments, do you think the court should grant a new trial or should the original conviction stand? This is is a developing legal story, and further updates may emerge from today's proceedings.